You are listening to Cool FM, live from Cool Studios. This is Cool News at 4.
Good afternoon. This is koolNews at 4. I'm Caro. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Thursday announced the 12 senator candidates he endorses for the 2025 elections. He made the revelation during a political event at the Philippine International Convention Center in Pasay City. The Marcos administration's senator slate for are members of the newly formed political coalition Alianza para sa Bongo Pilipinas. According to Marcos, this coalition will unite the broadest force of those who love the country. The 12 senator candidates included re-electionists, cabinet members, and former senators, among others, who came from different political parties such as the Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, Nationalist People's Coalition, Lakas CMT, and Nationalista Party. Below are the names of the senator bets that Marcos endorsed. Senator Amy Marcos, Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos Jr., Makati Mayor Abi Binay, Senator Pia Catiano, Senator Lito Lapid, ACT-CIS Representative Erin Tufo, Senator Francis Tolentino, former Senator Manny Pacquiao, former Senate President Tito Soto, Senator Bong Revilla, former Senator Pamphilo Ping Lacson, and Las Piñas Representative Camille Villar. In a speech before announcing his endorsement, Marcos mentioned the qualities he was looking for picking his senator bets: loyalty and love for country. In my endorsement, my only wish is to maintain their loyalty and love for the country, Marcos said. This is the most important characteristic of the candidate that I look at and think about, he added. Marcos then expressed optimism that the candidates he endorsed will be one with the government in advancing the development of the country. Citing efficiency and practicability as reasons, Senator Francis Tolentino is considering requiring the government to adopt a random method in procuring assets to bolster the capabilities of the Philippine Force and naval forces. Tolentino said several countries, including Singapore, Australia, France, the United Kingdom, Japan, and India, lease naval and police assets from other countries to enhance their capabilities without the high costs of outright purchases and maintenance. The senator proposed earlier to the government to lease ships from other countries in light of the withdrawal of the PRP Teresa Macbangua from Escudero last September 13, which the Chinese swarmed. Conferring with Commander John Perry A. Coast, Director of the Philippine Navy Public Affairs Office, Tolentino also was told that it took almost 5 years for the government to acquire 32-meter attack and missile-capable ships from Israel, from procurement approval to asset delivery. ACOS revealed that the planning stage of acquiring the assets started in 2016, the request for procurement was approved in 2019, the contract was approved in 2022, and delivery of the assets is expected to be completed in 2024. He agreed with the senator on the proposal to expand the naval fleet through leases from other countries, which he said would become a force multiplier for the Philippine Navy. Tolentino expounded on the benefits of leasing maritime assets from other countries like Singapore, which acquired its submarine through a lease from Sweden, strengthening its naval forces. He related a story from PGON Romel Francisco Martel, who told him that Australia also rents assets used by the police, such as police cars and ambulance. Leasing assets to upgrade the capability of our force has been a practice for many countries, including the United States, with the logistic support ships of its marines. It's through the rental method, Tolentino said. Progressive group Bagong Alyansang Mangkabayan is in the process of drafting an impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte, chairperson and former lawmaker Teddy Casino said on Thursday. In the press briefing for Bayamuna's National Convention in Kansas City, Casino confirmed that they will file the impeachment complaint and finalize before the House of Representatives once its session resumes in November. I'll be speaking as chairperson of Bagong Alyansang Makabayan since that was asked, and the different people's organizations under Bayan are now studying the possibility of filing an impeachment complaint, and the drafting of the complaint has started, Casino, a former Bayamuna representative, told reporters. Of course, Congress is on a break, so most likely if that ever will be filed, that will be around November, but we understand that there are other groups drafting their own complaint. So there might even be multiple complaints, and definitely we will need all the support that we can get. And if Bayamuna will be part of that complaint, that is good, he added. Once this is filed, Castillo said they believe Duterte has two options: resign from her post or face the impeachment complaint. But people's organizations through Bagong Alyansang Makabayan are the ones preparing this complaint, and we're expecting the progressive legislators to endorse such a complaint when the time comes, he said. We think the remaining choices for Sara Duterte is to either resign or eventually to face impeachment. We think other issues being hidden now will spurt. I think we are just scrapping the service of the abnormalities related to the Vice President, he added. Meanwhile, Bayamuna Chair and former Representative Nari Colmenares said that while they will let the people through Bayan file the impeachment complaint, they will only support these moves to hold Duterte accountable. The catch-all grounds for impeachment is betrayal of public trust, right? Because of what she said. Now it's the priority, in accordance with Bayamuna's point of view, that the people will file the complaint, and because that's a move of people's organization, we will not hesitate to support that, Colmenares said. The fate of the budget of the office of the Vice President remains uncertain in the Senate, but some senators have already signified their intent to push for the increase in the agency's 2025 funding. Former Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri told reporters about this possibility in the Kapihan sa Senado forum on Thursday. Zubiri said that while no final discussions have been made, talks within the chamber regarding the OVP budget for next year are somehow positive. We have several colleagues that already said they want to increase the budget allocation, he said. I think Senator Joel Villanueva and Senator Jingo Estrada, so we will just wait for the final outcome. We will be discussing it on the floor. It's too premature at this point in time to say what should happen and what would happen, said Zubiri. The appetite of the senators, I'm not saying me, I'm saying the discussions of the Union Lodge is to increase ng kakunti ang budget ng OVP, he emphasized. At this point, Zubiri was pressed to disclose whether or not the Senate would revert the OVP's 2025 budget to 2.037 billion pesos, but he said he was referring to the 733.1 million pesos approved by the House of Representatives. No, I mean the 700 million pesos approved by the House. It will arrive to us in 700 million pesos. So the appetite of some senators here in the Senate is to increase it a bit, said Zubiri. The House of Representatives on September 12 recommended slashing the proposed OVP budget of 2 billion pesos for 2025 to only 733 million pesos. Marikina 2nd District Representative Stella Quimpo, the panel's senior vice chairperson, said the OVP budget was cut by 1.29 billion pesos. She added that lawmakers intend to realign this fund to other government agencies like the Department of Social Welfare and Development and the Department of Health. For now, Zubiri said it is still premature to tell whether or not the Senate will grant the OVP its 2025 budget request of 2 billion pesos. I cannot say that. I'm just basing it on the talks within the lodge. I did not talk with them. The best person to ask is the Finance Committee Chairperson, Senator Crispo, he said. It is now 4:10 in the afternoon, and koolNews at 4 will be right back. It is now 4:18 in the afternoon and you are still listening to Cool News at 4. Land Transportation Office employees who colleague with fixers were warned of several administrative sanctions, including termination from service. In a statement on Thursday, the LTO said the warning was in relation to three LTO personnel who are now under investigation for their alleged transactions with fixers in their areas. On the very first day of my assumption as LTO chief, I made it clear that I will be running after all the fixers and their cohorts in our agency, said LTO Chief Assistant Secretary Victor Mendoza II, as quoted in the statement. We will not allow these people to taint the name of our agency for their money-making schemes, he added. Last Tuesday, the LTO conducted two separate operations near its central office in Quezon City and in Bulacan after receiving reports that their employees were conspiring with fixers. This resulted in the arrest of the fixers and three LTO employees, which included a district office head. This should send a strong message that we will not allow this kind of illegal activity nor tolerate any of our personnel to connive with these fixers, Mendoza said. We will always make sure that they are arrested and face the consequences of their illegal activities, he added. The low-pressure area outside the Philippine area of responsibility has developed into a tropical depression as of 8 a.m., the Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration PAGASA reported on Thursday morning. In its 11 a.m. weather advisory, PAGASA said the tropical depression outside PAR was spotted some 2,615 kilometers east of central Luzon. PAGASA said it is also monitoring two other LPAs for tropical cyclone formation, one located some 800 kilometers east of extreme northern Luzon, and the second one some 1,436 kilometers east of eastern Visayas. Given these developments, PAGASA advised the public to monitor weather system changes and updates. And now for the international headlines, China notified France before test firing a long-range ballistic missile into the Pacific on Wednesday, authorities in French Polynesia said, adding that the weapon had landed not far from its exclusive economic zone. The missile test, which China's defense ministry was said was carrying a dummy warhead, was its first such exercise in decades. The Chinese authorities previously notified their French counterparts of this test, the French High Commission said in a statement, adding that France would make its position on the test known. French Polynesia President Motai Broderson earlier told AFP that the missile fell not far from the Marquesas Islands, an archipelago that is part of its exclusive economic zone. Beijing has stepped up its nuclear development and boosted defense spending in recent years, with the Pentagon warning last October that China was developing its arsenal more quickly than the United States had anticipated. China held more than 500 operational nuclear warheads as of May 2023, and is likely to have more than 1,000 by 2030, the Pentagon said. Beijing's defense ministry said the intercontinental ballistic missile had carried a dummy warhead, and the missile fell into expected sea areas on Wednesday. It also said that the firing was a routine arrangement in our annual training plan and not directed against any country or target. The United States said it received some advance notification of this ICBM test, describing this as a step in the right direction that helps prevent misperception or miscalculation. But the launch sparked protests from countries in the region, with China's neighbor Japan saying it had not been given advance notice. Australia said it was seeking an explanation, while New Zealand calling the launch an unwelcome and concerning development. New Zealand's Navy said on Thursday that it had sailed a military vessel through the Taiwan Strait for the first time in 7 years, a rare challenge to China's claim on the fearlessly contested waterway. A defense official told AFP that the HMNCS Tauteroa, a relief ship, sailed through the strait on Wednesday with an Australian-guided missile destroyer, the HMAS Sydney. This was a routine activity consistent with international law, including the right of freedom of navigation, a defense spokesperson said. The United States and allied militaries regularly sail through the Taiwan Strait to assert their freedom of navigation. Beijing views self-governing Taiwan as a renegade province and claims jurisdiction over the body of water that separates the island from China. New Zealand, which has deep trade ties with China, has carried out military operations in the South China Sea but generally shies away from exercises in the Taiwan Strait. The last time a New Zealand Navy vessel passed through the strait was while sailing to the Chinese port of Qingdao in 2017, the defense official said. Wednesday's mission was not conducted with Japan, which reportedly also sailed a warship through the strait for the first time. It was not done with a Japanese ship, the defense official said. Since coming to office last year, New Zealand's center-right government has pivoted hard toward traditional allies like the United States, Britain, and Australia and become much more vocal in its criticism of Beijing. On Wednesday, New Zealand issued an unusually strong condemnation of China's decision to launch an intercontinental ballistic missile that terminated in the South Pacific. Wellington said that test, the first of its kind in decades, was unwelcome and concerning. In March, Wellington said a Chinese state-sponsored group was behind a 2021 malicious cyber attack that infiltrated sensitive government computer systems. New Zealand is currently carrying out plans to shake up its defense forces and reset its foreign policy. New Zealand is also mulling participation in AUKUS efforts to develop advanced military technology such as artificial intelligence, undersea drones, and hypersonic missiles. AUKUS currently groups Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. High-profile New Zealanders such as former Prime Minister Helen Clark have warned against arcing China and an increasing dependence on the United States. And the Taiwan's defense ministry said Thursday that 29 more Chinese fighter jets and drones were detected around the Democratic Island, following a 24-hour period that saw a surge in military movement by Beijing's force. China, which claims Democratic Taiwan as part of its territory, sends warplanes, drones, and naval vessels around the island nearly every day. The latest ramp-up in military movement came after Japanese media reported that a Japanese warship sailed through the sensitive Taiwan Strait for the first time to assert its freedom of navigation. On Thursday, Taiwan's defense ministry said 43 Chinese military aircraft and 8 naval vessels were detected in a 24-hour period ending at 6 a.m. It also released an illustration that showed the aircraft surrounding the island except for the northeastern coast. By afternoon, the ministry reported an additional 29 aircraft, including fighter jets and drones, have been detected since 8 a.m. Out of those, 31 crossed the median line of the Taiwan Strait and entered our northern, central, and southwestern ADIC in conducting Joint Combat Readiness Patrol along with other PLAN vessels, it said. The military has monitored the situation and responded accordingly. The Japanese warship's passage through the Taiwan Strait, which separates Taiwan from China, took place on Wednesday according to media reports. Tokyo declined to comment on the reports. Taipei is accustomed to Chinese military movements around it, with experts calling the ramp-up in planes, boats, and drones a form of green zone harassment that puts Taiwan's armed forces on consistent alert. These tactics, which fall short of a direct act of war, serve to exhaust Taiwanese troops, military experts say. The record this year came on July 11 when Taipei said that 66 Chinese military aircraft were detected in the 24-hour window. China has said it will never renounce the use of force to bring Taiwan under its control and has ramped up military measures on the island in recent years. And in showbiz news, the historical Philippine drama Pulang Araw has been nominated for Best Soap Telenova in the 2024 Venice TV Award. GMA announced the news on their Facebook page alongside the official poster of the family drama. The annual Venice TV Award is held 2 weeks after the Venice Film Festival to honor companies and individuals from the TV industry all over the world. This year, Pulang Araw was the only project from the Philippines that made it to the list of nominees across 19 categories. It was listed alongside other soaps telenovas from Portugal, Turkey, and Brazil. Lady Uptights of Portugal won the category. According to its website, the event's TV award was established as a tribute to and celebration of television, increasing national and international recognition for both producers and broadcasters who create high-quality output. And Brigitte Bardot, the 1960s French cinema icon who left the silver screen behind her a half century ago, says as her 90th birthday approaches that she now frees humanity in favor of solitude, dedicating most of her time to animal rights activism through her foundation. Bardot still regularly makes headlines, including with statements of support for France's far right. She told AFP in a telephone interview from her home in St. Tropez that she hopes to see a ban on eating horse meat in her home country before she dies. It is now 4:29 in the afternoon, and that is it for Cool News at 4. As always, if you have any news suggestions or feedback that you would like to share, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. Until then, I'm Cairo. We will see you later for more news headlines with Cool News at 6. Good afternoon.